So I've been reading a lot lately, and a lot of the books I've been reading are mostly about personal finance or some sort of self-help. And one of the books that I wanted to let you guys know about is actually one that's been helping a lot of people. It's Ramit Sethi's book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich. And just like what the title is, it definitely does teach you exactly what you need to do to be rich. And the book is packed with useful financial lessons that can help anyone improve their financial lives or financial situation. And I have five really good key takeaways for this book. And the first one he talks about a lot and is one of the best ones you could do, and that is automating your finance. And that is huge because a lot of people tend to like miss payments or not really know when things are due. And when you do that, you end up getting interest charges, you end up getting bills not paid. It affects your credit score and affects a lot of other things as well. So automating your finances is one of the best things you could do for yourself. And for those that don't know what automating your finances means, it means setting up automatic payments for your bills, your investments, your savings. Everything is set up so you don't have to do it, especially those credit cards, guys, because that is huge. That's where a lot of people end up losing a lot of money, is when they don't automate their credit cards and they end up only paying the minimum, and then you end up paying a lot of interest on the next statement for not fully paying off your credit card. The second big thing that I've learned from this book is that you got to focus on the wins, especially the big wins. Ramit throughout the whole book emphasizes focusing on these big wins, especially when it comes to saving money, investing, and just building wealth in general. This means like cutting back on big expenses like housing or transportation rather than small things like coffees or avocado toast. And this makes a lot of sense because like the whole Dave Ramsey thing was saying, oh, maybe you shouldn't get that coffee because you could do a lot more with that 5 to 10 bucks. But in actuality, the things that are going to help you out the most is getting rid of those big expenses, those unnecessarily huge car payments, getting a too big of a place to live in if you're renting. Don't eat out as often because that could get really expensive as well. So when you cut out these big expenses, those are the big things you could focus on. Those are the things that are actually going to help you build wealth and save money. Number three is investing in index funds. So this was another key lesson in the book, is the importance of investing, and not just in anything, but in low cost index funds. And the reason behind this is because you're not a professional stock trader, and most professional stock traders aren't even that good at it. So why are you going to try to be good at it when you could just get an index fund that offers broad exposure to the whole stock market at a very low cost? So when the market goes up, your wealth goes up with it. And like some of the ones that I personally invest in are total stock market index funds, FZROX, which I've talked about in a lot of videos, or S&P 500 index funds where you just follow the 500 biggest companies out there. There was one thing I didn't like about the book is where he was talking about target date funds. I'm not really a big fan of those. I do understand why, because eventually it just turns into like 80-20 split of like stocks and bonds. And then over time, as you get to the end date, it turns more into safety as bonds or just straight cash. And I get it, but I also don't necessarily agree with it because I feel like if you're doing everything in your power to get to FIRE, financial independence, or to be wealthy, you'll be able to figure this out on your own, trying to figure out when is the best time to switch from being in the stock market to bonds or even safer, just straight cash. Number four is negotiating your salary. And this is a huge lesson in this because a lot of people get stuck with staying in the same job for 30, 40 years and getting like the minimum increase in salary every year, or maybe not even getting any bonuses or increases at all. And if you're not negotiating your salary, you're doing a big disservice to yourself because your skills that you've made over time working are definitely more valuable than you think. You could hop from job to job every 2 to 3 years, and you could potentially get 10 to 20% pay jumps. And as a nurse, I'm a unionized nurse, so technically I can't negotiate my salary, but there's things that I could do or you could do if you're a nurse like me to increase your pay. You could get certifications, you could go to back to school, you could do overtime. There's a lot of extra things in the nursing world that you're able to get more money than a regular person does because not all jobs offer overtime or extra money for certifications and all these other things that you could do in the nursing field. But if you're also not a unionized nurse, you could always negotiating starting salary, experience differential, so many other things. Just be creative with it and try to figure out how much you could get for the skills that you've accumulated over time. And lastly, the last lesson is build a rich life. And Ramit's book emphasizes this so much. You have to build a rich life, because if you don't, then why are you doing this all in the first place? And a rich life doesn't just include financial success, but also things like meaningful relationships, personal growth, fulfilling a lot of hobbies and interests, not just focusing on your money. I understand that you're going to do a lot of sacrifice to get to where you want to be, but you also need to build a rich life as well. Because in the long run, if you're just saving money just to save money and you're not doing anything with it, it doesn't fulfill you, doesn't give you happiness, there's really no point to doing any of this at all if you're not trying to make a better life for yourself in the future. So overall, this book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi, is a great resource for anyone looking to improve their financial situation, their financial health. It provides many practical tips that anyone could use to get that rich life that they're looking for. So guys, that was my take on this book. Like I said, I've been reading a lot. And right now, this book is currently in my top 3 of personal finance. It's this one, The Wealthy Way, and of course, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. So let me know which book do you guys want me to read next, and I will make a review on it. And thanks guys for watching. Check out the links down below if you want to help out the channel, and I will see you guys very soon. Peace.